130 laps to go. You better tug on those belts one more time, because the first 4 drivers each just ran their fastest lap of the race just prior to this caution, and now we're back under green.
And I think there's a couple of reasons. We're getting down toward the closing stages, but one thing I've been watching, and our pit reporters, they've been talking about it, is we're getting a lot of clouds rolling here, and this track is cooling down, so that's changing the handling complexities.
How about the handling intensities, Darrell?
Just remember, it's not just happening at the front of the field.
Right.
It's happening all the way through the field, and everybody's patience is getting mighty thin.
20 cars on the lead lap. They're working past Michael Waltrip, who is the first car 1 lap down. Hamlin has cleared him. Now so has Gordon, and that gives those 2 a little breathing room, Matt.
Mike Dale Earnhardt Jr. running 6th under that caution. He noted to his team, he says, you know, the track is now mostly shaded after being sunny all day. He said the car, it's a little stuck, need to go maybe back in the other direction a little bit, but now with the changing conditions with the sun leaving us, they're questioning what to do as far as how big of a change on their stop.
I don't think I do much of it. You're just going to pick up overall grip. You're not going to just, you know, it's not going to change one end or the other. It's going to change everything for the better.
Clint Boyer to the inside of Waltrip. Moves the 4th place car up in contact with the 3 leaders. Now the next car back is Tony Stewart in 5th place, Krista.
Tony Stewart has gained 1 position. Mike still asking for some more forward bite, but before that caution came out and all those leaders were up there mixing it up, Tony said, is that the lead group? Darian Grubb said, yes it is. Tony said, I want to be up there. That looks like fun.
I'll bet it is.
You know, I just see so much incentive for these guys at the front to win here today. You look at Denny Hamlin, he hadn't won in a year in that 11. Jeff Gordon hadn't won since October of 2007. Of course, Jimmy Johnson winless this year. Clint Boyer wanting to prove to the media that this is a winning race team. And Tony Stewart, how bad he would want to win in his own race car.
Well, just slide on back a little further. Don't stop there. How about the 88?
and the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, the junior show, you know, have a lot to prove, let's say, to the media, if not to themselves and team owner Rick Hendrick. They got 1 win last year. Some folks called it a fluke, or a fluke of strategy, let's say, that went in the right direction, but a win is a win. And,
I just thought today's race would be kind of entertaining for those very reasons. People that need wins, want wins, run well here, and it's really panned out that way.
But it has been a 2-horse race. Between Denny Hamlin and Jeff Gordon, they've led 364 laps. Nobody else has led a lap under the green flag except Scott Speed, who stayed out and didn't pit when the leaders did and led 12 laps.
Well, the guy that won Atlanta, he's running 14th right now, Kurt Busch. And the 17 car hadn't even been on the radar today. He's all the way back in 26. Those are guys in Kyle Busch that have won races. He's back in 18th or 29th. So guys that have won races are not performing all that great today.
The only driver who is on the lead lap who has won this year is Kurt Busch. And Dick, why is he mired back in 14th?
Well, the car is pushing, Mike, and he is really unhappy about it. He has expressed himself very, very effectively, both to Roger Penske, who is on top of the building spotting, and to his crew about the adjustments that have been made to the car today.
Well, and I think they either made adjustments too much to a racetrack that they were not going to have most of the day, or they just went the wrong way, Darrell.
Well, these cars, I say it every week, and you do too, Larry, they're fickle. I mean, you do the slightest little thing. I mean, when you hear a driver say a quarter pound of air or a half a turn on a track bar, that is minuscule. How that can affect the car, I don't know, but it affects this car.
Tell you what, Jeff Gordon, he is reeling this 11 car in slowly but surely with 117 laps to go.
But Darrell, if Gordon is still the best car here, and we're not sure if Hamlin is running as fast as he can, of what benefit is it to him to work hard to pass Denny Hamlin now with 117 laps to go?
Well, if you're faster than him, you pass him now. You don't want to wait until you get down to the end of the race and then see if you're faster than him or not. If I can pass him, I'm going to pass him now, and then I'm going to have to hold him off if I have to. But Jeff Gordon, somebody just called him. Steve Letarte probably said we're coming up with about almost 100 to go, and the pay window is starting to open.
Yeah, you think back 2 or 3 years ago, maybe Jeff Gordon kind of waited to play with his teammate Jimmy Johnson. When he had a chance, he couldn't get by him. So, yeah, you get an opportunity, you take it here at Martinsville.
Got good tires right now. You got a little bit better race car. You got to pounce on that guy.
It would be hard to figure which of these two drivers is hungrier to win. Hamlin, who let several wins kind of slip through their fingers and hasn't won in a while, thinks his win total should be higher. Jeff Gordon hasn't won in a year and a half. What about today?
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox, built by the Home Depot, is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. Get the inside track from Penske Racing and race analysis, plus highlights and high-speed action, all on VCast from Verizon Wireless, America's largest, most reliable wireless network.
105 laps to go, no change at the front. Jeff Gordon continues to stalk Denny Hamlin. Hamlin's led 233 laps, Gordon 147. Hardly anyone else has led under the green flag today, but Jimmy Johnson, whose car always seems to get better here toward the end of the race, right there stalking the two leaders. And Clint Boyer, Tony Stewart, not that far back.
And Hamlin's got what you long for here. He's not that great getting in like he was earlier in the race, but watch this thing when he turns it and gasses it. He opens up a big gap between him and Jeff Gordon most of the time.
Two drivers that don't seem to like their cars very much. Not these two. a little further back.
You have someone else in mind, Mike?
Yeah, Dale Jr.'s not advancing. He's not able to move past the lap car of Joey Logano, make any steam past Logano. And Kevin Harvick, who we're told just doesn't like his car at this stage in the race. He and teammate Jeff Burton running 12th and 13th. Harvick gave up a position or two a lap ago, and these cars are just kind of holding station.
But what's amazing, when I look at probably the top 13 cars, they're all within 1/10 of each other right now, and we're starting to see the sun come back out here as we're less than right at 100 laps to go.
Something we haven't heard anybody say a word about all day that I'm aware of are brakes. I don't think I've heard of anybody complain about having a brake problem.
The only car that did, Marcos Ambrose, the 47 car, they had to come in on that last caution when everybody else stayed out. And I think they actually added some brake fluid. That's the only problem I've heard of.
Matt, how about Kevin Harvick? He's able to stay in front of Jeff Burton, but then again, they are teammates.
The biggest issue for Kevin Harvick, Mike, you mentioned that he's not pleased with the way the race car is handling right now. His issue is trying to get forward bite off the corner. That's what he needs most, and they're not sure if they're going to be able to get him that handling characteristic before we're at day's end. You talked about people having issues with the brakes. The only person in my area I've heard have any issues with A.J. Allmendinger in the 44. He took it easy over the previous run, and his pedal came back, so he's good to go.
Allmendinger running 14th. Dick, what about Mark Martin in 7th?
Mark is the only person in my area that I have heard say anything about brakes, and his situation is most unusual. He said he is pressing his brake pedal so hard going into the corner, he's worried about tearing the skin off the bottom of his foot.
Oh, that's what happens with some of these brake packages. You don't get them hot enough. They are so big, the calipers, the rotors, the pads, that a lot of these brake packages have to have heat to be effective. So that sounds like he's glazed them over a little bit and just doesn't have them hot enough.
Dale Jr. we saw working his way underneath David Reagan, who is not on the lead lap.
And the reason I mention brakes right now, because at 100 laps, these next 100 laps is when I normally hear two things: brakes and gears.
Here's another question from Ask.com. What driver scored his only win in what is now the Sprint Cup Series here at Martinsville? Get the answer now at Ask.com and enter the Ask.com NASCAR Challenge for a chance to win a trip to Talladega from the official search engine of NASCAR.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Just looking at some of the temperatures from Friday's practice, and nobody made a real long run. The rotors, the disc that Jeff Hammond showed a while ago, they were showing 12 to 1300 degrees. The pad itself was showing 1800 degrees, and the calipers were showing almost 500 degrees. That's a lot of temperature when you think about it.
Well, that too, and today's been a relatively cool day as well. That helps a whole lot. When the ambient temperature is not so high, that helps the temperature of all the parts on the race car.
David Rudeman having a good day. He's running in 10th place. We kidded earlier that at Michael Waltrip Racing they've hung the tag "the franchise" on Rudeman. Dick Bergeron, how about one of your contemporaries, the father of the franchise?
Yeah, I think Buzzy, who is David Rudeman's dad, really is the franchise of the family, because at age 67, last night, Buzzy won the modified feature at East Bay Raceway, a 3/8 mile dirt track in Florida. Attaboy, Buzzy.
He can still, he's still a wheel man, I can tell you. Old Buzzy can get it done.
And his longtime car number, 00.
Double nothing.
Like father, like son.
And of course, David is the car owner, I think, of Buzzy's car.
No. He's the sponsor.
Sponsor.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just a sponsor. He's the whip out man for his dad. When they need something, he reaches in his pocket and whips out the cash.
The difference is the car owner sometimes gets assigned the back of a check.